G-O-O-D-J-O-B. I said G-O-O-D-J-O-B. I need everybody right now to make some noise right now. Everybody make some noise right now. Everybody make some noise right now. I'm going to hold something up, y'all, and when I hold it up, I want y'all to make some noise. It's very important when I hold this up, make some noise, because guess what? Everybody should have one of these. If you already have that one, that's fine, but everybody in the state of Georgia should have one of these on January the 5th. I'm going to hold it up, and then I'm going to see if y'all know what to do and make some noise. What I'm saying? Y'all can do better than that. Yeah. V-O-T-E. V-O-T. Let me hear you say V-O-T-E. Say it. Keep going. Y'all notice I keep wiping off the mic because we keep everything sanitized. How many of y'all know after January 5th we're going to sanitize the Senate? We need to sanitize. Somebody say sanitize the Senate. Sanitize the Senate. Yeah, listen, I need everybody to do me a favor. This next individual I'm going to bring up, she helps to make certain that there's equity in the district attorney's office. Come on now, come on now, come on now. Equity in the district attorney's office. I am so proud to bring her up at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, District Attorney-elect, Chatham Judicial Circuit. Oh, this is historic. Somebody say historic. Somebody say historic. The S is for significant, the H is for honorable, the A is for advocating, the L is for leader, the E is for empowered, the N is for navigator, the A is for awesome, the C is for committed, the O is for opportunities, the O is for optimistic, the K is for knowledgeable, the J is for justified, the O is for outstanding, the N is for now, the E is for empress, and the S is for superfluous. At this time, District Attorney-elect Selena Cook Jones!
Y'all go ahead and give it up for him. Y'all go ahead and give it up for our MC, Chief Brown. So glad to be with y'all today. It's Savannah in the house. It's Chatham County in the house. All right, I'm so glad to see you guys. I'm so glad to see you out. This is a political event, but more than anything, it's a family affair. And voting is a family affair as well. I am proud to stand here as your district attorney-elect. Yes. And as much as I'm proud to stand here, I'm even more proud of you because you did the impossible. You showed up in record numbers for each and every race, through the primary and the runoff and the general and the runoff after that. But how many of you know that we ain't done? We still got work to do. And Chatham County, I want you to finish strong. Now more than ever before, voting is important. And I stand here with you, asking you, pleading with you to make sure you turn out to vote. Cast your vote early. Don't wait until the last minute. Call your mama them, your auntie them, your cousin them. Tell them you're going to cook them some food, but y'all got to go vote first, okay? We need you to come out and make sure that you seal the deal. Because while it's important to put the president in place, and while it's important to put the vice president in place, and while it's important to put your district attorney in place, you need to know that it's important to put the right senators in those seats. Because that is how we accomplish life-changing history. You are part of history today. And I with you will be running to this finish line. So Chatham County, if we're going to finish strong, I'm going to ask you, if we finish strong, I want to hear you say, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Can we finish strong? Will we finish strong? Will we finish strong on January 5th? Amen. Let's do it, Chatham County. Thank you for having me. God bless you, and God bless Chatham County.
Y'all give it up for our district attorney-elect. Show your love. Yes, yes, yes. How many of y'all know you can't keep up with the Joneses, baby? You can't keep up? We're bringing equity to the district attorney's office. Somebody say equity. Somebody say equity. That's right. At this time, I want to bring forth an individual who's been on the front lines of advocacy all of his life. And he's going to come up and bring greetings. I want you to show your love for Reverend Leading Leonard Small. GOODJOB.
What y'all know about elections? If you don't show up, you lose. If you don't vote, shut up. We hold these truths to be self-evident. It was a lie when they wrote it, but they shouldn't have wrote the check if they wasn't going to have no money in the bank. And I'm here to tell you right now, I've been all over the planet, all over the globe, to every kind of fight, from South Africa to Palestinians to Southeast Asia. But here in America, we found in these last 4 years that you need to fix up your own house before you go telling other folk how to run their countries. We've got a president that was elected, and he's being fought for one item, one idea: white domination. Don't fool yourself. It's not about abortions. They just want to stay in charge in a country that told a lie that said all men are created equal. Now, it was the truth, but they were lying when they said it because they went home to slaves. But you shouldn't have said it if you didn't mean it. And whether you meant it or not, we've got a little boy. See, because every time I see Raphael, I see him this tall. Every time I see that face, I see it without glasses and without a beard. I see him running around in the front of my mama's beauty shop. His mama in there, and I don't know who was doing her hair, but all I'm telling you is, when I look at him on TV now, I don't think his head grew at all. He was a big head baby. So now I get to vote for a little boy I saw when he was this big, to become a member of the most exclusive club on earth, the Senate of these United States. It made me want to holler, throw up both my hands. It made me want to shout, thank God for Jesus. It made me want to run when I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm here to tell you, this opportunity cannot be wasted. We cannot allow apathy, don't care and won't care, to enter into this process. I put my vote in for a preacher's son. You don't hear me. Now, somebody don't know this, because you may not have ever got to hear it. She's old now, and she don't preach no more. But Raphael came from good soil. Raphael's mama could preach till the church walls buckle. She'd preach, I'd be shouting out my shoes. And you can't come from that without certain foundations in your soul. We have an opportunity to let folk who would give all money to rich folk like this and have to debate all month to figure out a way to give somebody $600. $6 sorry $100. One of my tenants owed me $4,000 because a job went bad. Can you imagine that? And when they take the moratorium off, what you gonna do? She ain't got that kind of money. She better be glad she got me. I'm saying this and I mean it. If you don't go vote, if they run over your foot on purpose, don't call me. I have been pushed back, beat down, had justice snatched from me. I've been talked about when I was helping folk. Talked about by the folk I'm helping. But here's the deal. I decided to make Jesus my choice. And God may have. I told Keisha this the other day when she got a little frustrated. I said, maybe, Keisha, you were made for such a time as this. She dropped her head. Yeah, Pastor. Here's what we need to do. Gird up your loins. Get ready to run this race. God don't need no coward soldiers. I'd rather die fighting than live a punk. You heard it. I said it. I meant every word I said. I ain't taking it back. A scary man, I can't stand a sorry man. A jellyback man don't need to tell me nothing.
That's right.
It's time for us to step up to the plate.
That's right.
Last thing. Don't believe that lie that 15% of black men voted for Trump. Now, everybody you know, that's 1 in every 7 men. Who knows? Who knows 1 in 7 black men that voted for Donald Trump? Lastly, support our people up there fighting. Day by day for you. Don't tell them to shut up. Tell them to speak up, stand up until justice flows like a river and righteousness like a mighty stream. I'm done. Now, don't come close to me. I had a liver transplant on July the 3rd. I don't have an immune system. My wife gonna kill me for coming here. I ain't scared of her.
Come on and show your love. Show your love. Yes, Pastor Small. Show your love. G-O-O-D-J-O-B. I said G-O-O-D-J-O-B. I want y'all to show your love for attorney at law. Noble Nancy DeVetter is with us today. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Front line, give her a hand, yes. Noble attorney Nancy DeVetter, give her another hand, y'all. Show your love. Show your love. How many of y'all remember the movie Erin Brockovich? Y'all remember that movie? Well, attorney DeVetter fights just like that for the people. That's right. She's fighting for the people, y'all. Yes, because how many of y'all know we're not just fighting the pandemic of COVID-19? We're fighting the pandemic of systemic racism. We're fighting the pandemic of voter suppression. We're fighting the pandemic of the miseducation of many of our children. But guess what? I know y'all been giving shout outs today. I do a lot of my work with schools, colleges, and universities and school districts. So I want to give a shout out for the departure of Nancy DeVos. Come on now, yes. Yes, we have a new education secretary in there. And I'm just happy, y'all. I'm just so elated, and we're going to keep working. And that this time, yes. Yes, and I want all of our elected officials to stand up. All of our elected officials to stand up at this time. Let's give them a hand. Give them a hand. All of our elected officials, G-O-O-D-J-O-B. And now at this time, I present to some, and I introduce to others, a trailblazer who started his journey in New York, a city so nice they named it twice, was a trailblazer at the Savannah State University, has always been on the front lines and advocating for children and young people. All right, his name is not car, his name is not motorcycle, his name is van. Because see, with a motorcycle, you can only fit 2 people. In a car, you can only fit 4 or 6. But in a van, you can take everybody. And he is going to take everybody. I want you to show your love for our distinguished mayor of Savannah, my friend, my brother, valuable Van Johnson! GOODJOB.
Good afternoon, Savannah. Good afternoon, Savannah. First of all, we're going to show some love for our beloved brother, our beloved son who has gone out and now motivates people around the world. Mr. I Am Possible, Mr. Keith Brown, show him some love. He is proof positive that from Savannah State, you can get anywhere from Savannah State. We are so glad that all of you are here. I promise to be very brief because you didn't come to hear from me. But I want to tell you one quick thing. Everyone knows already how important this is. And so we've been going around the state getting people to take advantage of this opportunity that they have. We've been going around the state to tell people that this is a monumental opportunity. How many of you have voted already? How many of you are waiting until election day? Okay. How many of you have absentee ballots that you have not turned in? Because at the end of the day, all this is about now is numbers. That's it. It's about turnout. It's about who shows up. If our folks show up, we win. If more of their folks show up, we lose. There's nothing else to it. And I know right now, I'm looking, everybody say 26,000. I am looking for 26,000 mail-in or absentee ballots that have been issued. We have 45,000 that were out. We've gotten 19,000 back. And Clyde, the Savannah State, they taught us that 45 minus 19 is 26. So that tells me there's 26,000 ballots out there that people have not turned in. We need you to turn them in. Because that's 26,000 opportunities to win this race. So if you have them, turn them in. The drop boxes are secure. Go ahead, drop them in. Do not trust the mail. We love our postal workers, but right now the mail is too late. I'm just getting Christmas cards that were sent the week before Christmas. Don't trust the mail. Go ahead, drop them in the drop box, and make sure you're counted. Or, tomorrow is the last day for early voting. The last day, until 7 o'clock. So either you're going to stand in line until 7, or you're going to be one of those rough and ready soldiers on Tuesday, and you're going to get in line, and you're going to stay in the heat, or if it rains, or if it snows, until you get it done. Right? So that's what we need you to do. If you have friends that have not voted and don't plan to vote, then you need new friends. And 2021 is a nice time for you to change out friends. If you have someone in your house who has not voted, doesn't plan to vote, doesn't have a plan for voting, then they might need to find somewhere else to live. I'm just saying. This is, I can't tell you, we've been talking about how important this is, and the bottom line now is just time to do it. And so we need your help, And obviously, the entire world is looking at Georgia. Everyone is looking at Georgia. Many of us have prayed, Senator Jackson, for the Lord to put us in a position where our actions can choose our direction. We are now here. What are we going to do with the opportunity that's been given to us? It's up to us. And I'll tell you, although I won't tell you who I'm voting for,
I can't read what it say. Why not?
I'm not telling you that. But what I will tell you is we want senators that know where Savannah is. And we want senators that are going to check on Savannah. And we want senators that are going to know and see and hear the things that we need in Washington, D.C. We need people who are going to remember us. And all I'm saying is we don't need people who fly over us to get to Sea Island. That's all I'm saying about that. So what I'm telling you is that this is our opportunity, and I fully expect, as you all turned out a year ago for me, as y'all turned out for Joe Biden, who I had the pleasure of voting for as an elector this year to be the President of the United States, and for Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, for the first time in history, Georgia helped make that happen. We're claiming that we're going to make this happen. So it gives me great pleasure and a great opportunity to introduce someone who really doesn't need any introduction because he's here so much, he might as well have a house here. We'll talk to him about that later. But he is someone who is a prolific author, prolific newsman, prolific political commentator. He's a great man of Alpha Phi Alpha. Desmond, you heard that? Great man of Alpha Phi Alpha. But more importantly, he is a man whose character, whose integrity, and his forthrightness has been to speak truth to power, no matter where that power is. And what I appreciate about him now is that he's moved from CNN, and now he's on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And I've had the opportunity to be on that show, and we have to support our brothers, and we have to support people who support us. So we're really glad to have him in Savannah. I'm helping him find the name of a person, a friend of mine in Atlanta. We're going to help him locate this person because he's back in Georgia, and we know he's looking for him. Ladies and gentlemen, let us do the right thing and show a Savannah strong love and applause for our brother, our friend, our trailblazer, Roland Martin. Y'all show him some love.
We gonna start this thing alright. You all in the windows walking out. Come on, come on. Do it, baby, take it, baby. Do it, baby, take it, baby. Do it, baby.
Show your love, Roland Martin!
I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth.
All right, Savannah, how y'all doing? I am glad to be back in the city. I have been here numerous times. Actually, I was here a couple of weeks ago with Black Voters Matter. I have been supporting Cliff Albright, Latasha Brown since they started the Black Voters Matter from day one. I would have them on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, on my TV One show, and now Roland Martin Unfiltered. It's always good to be here. I got a chance to see your mayor and chat with him. He actually had him on my show when we were here, and so I appreciated seeing him, and the president of Savannah State as well. I spoke here several years ago, and she said, look, she said, when did you speak? I said, it was a long time ago. She said, we got to get you back. I was like, just invite a brother back. We'll be back. And so it's always good to be here, but also back in the state of Georgia. We've been here almost the entire month. When the runoff was announced, I said we are going to return to Georgia, and we're going to essentially move to this state because we wanted to bring our viewers and listeners the perspective of what's happening on the ground. I challenge other black media to do the exact same thing. And other folks didn't step up, and I made it perfectly clear we would. So we have been to Savannah. We were in Albany yesterday. We've been to Athens. We've been in Columbus. We've been in Macon. We've been in Warner Robins. We've been all over because we said it can't just be about Metro Atlanta. We want to be able to also hear from different people. And so we've had elected officials on. We've had mayors on, heads of boards of elections, community activists, talking about the issues that matter in this state. We're live streaming right now. So if you go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Roland S. Martin, you can actually see this as well. And so earlier we did, for lack of a better phrase, a get out the vote crawl. And we hit about 5 or 6 different places, different businesses, going to see people, talking to them. Because what we have to understand is this is our moment. You have been living in a state that for decades has been defined as a red state. If you look at the black population in this country, we are located largely in southern states. And when you look at the number of black voters that are in Georgia, that are in South Carolina, in North Carolina, in Tennessee, in Arkansas, in Mississippi, in Louisiana, that's where our numbers are, but our power has been diminished because the folk who are in power in those states don't care about the very issues that we care about. See, this is not a elephant or a donkey thing. This is not a red or a blue thing. This is not a D or an R thing. For black folks, it's a right or a wrong thing. And one of the reasons I said I was going to come here because I have made it perfectly clear that I will oppose anybody and any party that stands in the way of black folks having the ability to exercise their right to vote. And what you're seeing right now is you're seeing people in this state who are Republican, who are scared to death because they saw what just happened in November. In 2008, President Barack Obama, then Senator Barack Obama, won North Carolina by 14,100 votes. Republicans in that state were so angry they literally changed the voting laws, and it has taken more than a decade to claw back what they actually had then. They were angry with the black turnout in North Carolina in 2008. They put in place onerous voter suppression laws. In fact, they were so onerous, federal courts ruled that there was a laser-like focus targeting black voters in North Carolina. And they ruled that racial gerrymandering, the Supreme Court in that state, was unconstitutional. They were targeting black voters. They literally asked the question, when do black people vote early? 70% North Carolina voted in the first week, so they cut all early voting the first week because they wanted to stop black folks from voting. And here in November, after what happened, Republicans in this state are already saying they are going to change the laws that they voted for that made it easier for folk to vote because they are mad that they lost. You didn't lose because folk voted. You lost because you didn't have the right issues. You lost because you didn't have the right health policy, the right economic policy. You lost because you would rather not give folks a $2,000 check, but you would rather give folks with private planes and yachts tax breaks. That right there defines the lack of moral courage we have from some political leaders. But I need the folk today to understand that the election taking place on Tuesday is not about 2021 or 2022. You see, last month I turned 52. I have 9 nieces, 4 nephews. And so the work that I do today, my parents are 73, they work the polls, they are very involved in politics, but the work that I do as a journalist in terms of advocating for our people and using the power of the media is the same thing that Ida B. Wells Barnett did, Frederick Douglass did, Robert Abbott with the Chicago Defender, A.I. Scott with the Atlanta Daily World, exactly with the Pittsburgh Courier. They use the power of the media to inform our people to change the condition for the next generation. And so my fight today ain't about me and my pocketbook. It's about what kind of America my nieces and nephews are going to have when they are adults. And so that really has to be how we are looking at this election, is that when you go into that voting booth, you are not voting for you are actually voting for your children's children. Because see, we also have to connect the dots. Last election, I kept explaining to folks why it mattered who became president, and I had people who were saying, Roland, Trump, Hillary, they're the same. Then all of a sudden, Trump wins, and he appoints him and McConnell 225 federal judges. Appointed federal judges who would not even affirm whether Brown versus Board of Education was rightfully decided. Federal judges who don't believe in civil rights. Federal judges who do not believe in this strict constructionist view. And then, of course, you have a son of Georgia sitting on the Supreme Court who somehow don't even realize that he is black and understands the issues that we are facing. And I got no problem saying it because, see, let me be real clear. I don't care whether you black, whether you white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I have a very simple standard philosophy. If you do good, I'm going to talk about you. If you do bad, I'm going to talk about you. At the end of the day, I will talk about you. And so that's how I've always operated. And so I will call out black folks who don't truly represent the interests of black folks when you're in a position of power. And so I have no problem doing it. And so if some folk right now feeling a little, do I call it a butt dance? When people get a little uncomfortable, like when you're in church and they start moving, that's what I do to people on TV. When they start, I call it the butt dance when they start moving. Because I ain't got a problem making folks real uncomfortable. And we have, too many of our people right now are not uncomfortable, but they're comfortable. And so many of us are also unwilling to talk to other folk to explain to them why these elections matter. And I understand the people who say nothing has changed. I understand the people who say, well, I haven't seen any noticeable difference. But first of all, but that's also a lie. Because the reality is we have seen changes. We haven't seen enough changes. But one of the reasons we have not seen enough changes is because we've had too many people who have said, go vote just because, without explaining to folks why they need to vote. And then once the election is over, using the exact same power to then hold folks accountable who we either elected or if our person didn't win, still challenge the winner to say we are still constituents. I'll give you an example. When Loretta Lynch was nominated to be Attorney General by President Barack Obama, the Republicans would not vote her nomination. And all these sisters were going to Capitol Hill putting pressure on the senator saying, confirm Loretta Lynch. They had Deltas showing up in red and white because they were supporting their soror. They had AKAs, they had other sisters there. And I kept asking, why do I keep seeing all these sisters going to Capitol Hill? Where are the brothers? I hit all of the black male civil rights leaders. I was like, where y'all at? I said, how you got all these sisters going to Capitol Hill fight for Loretta Lynch and all y'all male civil rights leaders, y'all ain't organizing brothers? So I called Pastor Jamal Bryan and my frat brother Jeff Johnson. We were all talking. So we said, we gonna do it. So we put a call out and 200 brothers showed up. Now let me tell y'all something. This country ain't never like when two black men walk in a place together. Y'all should have seen the Capitol Hill cops that were out we got no advance notice. 200 Negroes about to show up. Well, they were like freaking out. And the white reporters were going, what's going on? I'm like, what? We just showed up. Other groups come to Capitol Hill. Why can't we just show up? So we went to the different offices of the senators. And here's what was amazing. Most of the brothers who went there, they had never been to Capitol Hill. They live in Virginia, D.C., and Maryland. They had never been to Capitol Hill. So we go to the office of the late Senator Thad Cochran. And we walk into the office. And like I told y'all, when 200 black men move at one time, folk get nervous. So we walked in and they were like, yes. I said, well, we here to see Senator Thad Cochran. Do y'all have an appointment? No. Well, we got to make an appointment. No, we ain't leaving. We stood in that office and we said, we're not leaving. And then there was a sister who was with another group. She said, we have 20 minutes with the senator. We'll give 10 of our minutes to them. The woman at the team, she said, you can't do that. I was like, well, it's they 20 minutes. What you mean they can't pass it on somebody? So I said, we're not leaving. We finally got our meeting. And the reason we had to press him because when he ran against another Tea Party Republican, black people crossed over in the Republican runoff to vote for Thad Cochran over the Tea Party guy. See, if anybody tell you black people not politically astute, slap them, please. Because black folks are smart enough to know that if I got to choose between that Republican and that crazy Republican, I'm going to pick the less crazy Republican over the crazy one, and that's actually what happened. So we had to remind Thad Cochran that black people were the reason he got reelected. And we stood in office, and I said, Senator, we fully expect you to vote for Loretta Lynch because black people put you back in office, so therefore black people expect for you to vote for Loretta Lynch. He said, well, I've already made up my mind, and I'll reveal it on the day we vote. I said, well, we fully expect you to vote the right way because I do want you to understand that we'll be back if you don't. And these brothers, they were looking, they said, I ain't never seen a brother just threaten a white U.S. senator like that. I said, well, hell, I ain't afraid. I said, but we needed him to understand we will be back. I'm saying that because the election is end of one process at the beginning of another. So all of this intensity we have to keep this up after the election. And even if Ossoff and Warnock win, we can't say, hey, cool, they won. No, because now you got to do what you said you were going to do. And I'll be perfectly honest with us, a whole bunch of us got real comfortable after Obama won. And we didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Then we wonder why we didn't get anything. It's because we went silent. We can't be happy when somebody simply gets elected. We got to get happy when they do something when they get elected. But what has to happen right now is there has to be a completely singular focus of every single person in Savannah, because you have to understand that this election literally could be decided by a handful of votes. Joe Biden won this state by less than 12,000 votes. There are 159 counties in Georgia. If you do the math, he won this state by 75 votes in each county. Think about that, 75. That means a small church congregation was the difference in the entire county. Sherry Beasley, sister, Chief Justice of North Carolina Supreme Court, just lost her race, her re-election race. She lost by 400 votes. A Republican just won a congressional seat in Indiana by 6 votes. Trayvon Martin's mama ran for Miami-Dade commissioner. She lost by 315 votes. In 2018, the Virginia legislature was decided by a coin flip because there was a tie race. They literally were tied. That if one extra person had voted in that race, that person would have won by 1 vote. So I'm saying that because when you encounter somebody who says, I don't know about voting, that person could very well be the determining factor as to whether or not Ossoff or Warnock wins or loses. And we have to look at each vote that way, because if you add that person with that person and that person and that person in each neighborhood, in each community, in each city, then across the state, then all of a sudden you look at the difference when it comes to these elections. And see, you also have to just focus on what's happening here in Savannah. I know, look, I tell people all the time, you know people all around the country. But all you can do is focus on just where you are. And so the intensity has to be just on this city. Can you imagine what would happen if this election came down to a few hundred votes and the difference was you raising the turnout in this city from one level to an extra 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000? It's literally that basic. Ask any elected official, they will tell you. It's about every single vote. They running all these ads. Look, folk know whether they're going to vote for, who they're going to vote for. The real issue now is, will they vote or won't they vote? And there's some people who are African American, who are male, who are young. You got sisters, and they say, man, I don't really know. If you got to spend 15 minutes explaining to them why they must vote, take the 15 minutes and walk them through, because the difference is going to be whether or not student debt gets lowered. Black students leave college with double the student loan debt of an average white student, and if you wipe out student loan debt, you literally are changing the economics of the black community. Republicans have tried to end the Affordable Care Act for the last number of years. Trump wants to kill it. If Ossoff and Warnock wins, then you can see the Affordable Care Act protected, and the Affordable Care Act has had a direct impact on the health of black folks, with a number of our people who have been able to have health insurance because of that particular law. If Ossoff and Warnock wins, the George Floyd Justice Act becomes law because it's already passed the House, it can pass the Senate. If Ossoff and Warnock wins, the John Lewis voter bill gets passed, and then we are able to fight voter suppression in this country. If Ossoff and Warnock win, now you begin to have a different conversation about criminal justice reform in this country, and in terms of changing our laws and making things better. That's if that happens. But if it doesn't happen, here's what will happen. Mitch McConnell will vote on nothing. He will do what he has done for the last 4 years. He will block everything. There's no law that will get taken up. It will simply be nothing but civil warfare every single day until the midterm elections in 2022. So Georgia, you have the ability, you have the power, you have the opportunity to literally say to the rest of the country, y'all didn't do what you're supposed to do in Maine. Cal Cunningham, you lost in North Carolina. Gideon, you lost in Maine. You didn't let Booker win the primary. Amy McGrath got killed in Kentucky. Of course, SP did not win in Mississippi. You can go down the line. You have the opportunity to literally say to the rest of the country, y'all messed up, so we came to fix your mess. And look, black folks, we are very familiar with fixing the mess of America. Dr. King said, I'm integrating my people into a burning building. And he was talking to Harry Belafonte. He said, well, I guess we about to be firemen. Dr. King said that we're going to make America be the country it is on paper. He said, be true to what you put on paper. So we are quite familiar with having to fix the mistakes of America. And so now is the time for us to seize that, time for this generation, do what the previous generation did. So if we talk about John Lewis and Hosea Williams and Fannie Lou Hamer and Septima Clark and Diane Nash and James Bevel and others, then you have some folks in 2020 who are doing the exact same thing. You got Tamika Mallory with Until Freedom and Tiffany Lawson with the NAACP. You got LaTosha Brown with Black Voters Matter and Cliff Albright. You got black folks who are fighting every single day for us to be able to exercise the right to vote. We cannot let them down by not using that power, by not using our right. We must challenge every single person who we know. I'm talking about every neighborhood, every block, every street, every house, every fraternity member, sorority sister. Challenge your neighbors or your cousins. If folk want to come to your house on Sunday and eat dinner, if they haven't voted and won't vote, they got to go somewhere else to eat. If you got somebody who want to sit here and give you a nudge, you tell them, no, if you ain't voted, ain't going to happen. Some of y'all going to figure that out when y'all get home. I'm talking about we have to have a direct challenge to every single person to say the integrity of our voice is on the ballot, which means that we must use that power as best that we can and use it every single time. It can't be enough that Biden and Harris won in November. You have to say Ossoff and Warnock wins. And then after the runoff, then what's the next election in this city? Is it school board? Is it city? Is it county? What is it? Which means that we are going to show up and show out at every single election. That's the only choice that we have. I've said to our folk all around the country, as long as there is breath in my body, I'm swinging. And if I can't walk there, then I will crawl or roll there. If I was one day not going to gonna be able to talk, I'm gonna learn sign language. If I got to just nod a certain way, it's gonna happen. Until my breath is silenced, I'm gonna always use it for the good of our people. We are a fighting people. There's nothing that we have gotten in this country that we did not have to fight for. Frederick Douglass said, agitate, agitate, agitate. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Never have, never will. Well, we are sitting with power in our hand, and we can walk into a ballot box and use it. And I dare say, Savannah, this is the moment where you tell Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue and the Republicans in this state, if y'all think y'all ready for a fight, y'all have not seen a fight until you see our people swinging every single day using our power. And if somebody tells you that they are unwilling to fight, all you got to do is quote my frat brother, Vertner Woodson Tandy, one of the founders of Alpha Phi Alpha, who said this here. He said, we will fight until hell freezes over, and then we will fight on the ice. Savannah, it's time to fight. Fight for your right, fight for your power, fight for your issues, and it's time for us to send a signal, do not mess with us, because we're going to show you how to fight. Thanks a bunch.
G-O-O-D-J-O-B. I said G-O-O-D-J-O-B. Let's show your love for respected Roland And I want y'all to remain standing as I bring forth the primary organizer of our rally today. I want you to show your love for one who serves, and he has the nerve to serve, and he will continue to feed the need to lead. Y'all know who I'm talking about, none other than our Senator leading Lester Jackson!
Hello, Savannah! Hello, low country! I would first like to thank Mr. Roland Martin for taking time out of his schedule to come to Savannah. So you know how important it is to America if we get Roland Martin to Savannah, Georgia. You know how important it is to America, to Georgia, when Roland Martin comes to Savannah. And I want you to say, has this not been a great moment? Has this or has it not been a great event? So we got to decide right now whether or not this is going to be a moment in time where we leave here and go home and say we had fun. We listened to Roland Martin, I met some friends, brought some T-shirts, and man, that was a great moment. Or do we want this to be a movement? We got to decide whether or not we want this to be a movement, because if we truly want this to be a movement, we will all take out our phones. We will all go to a max test and tell people that this election is about us. It's important that Reverend Raphael Warnock get elected. It's important that John Ossoff get elected. But more importantly, we need to change America. And if we don't vote, America won't change. If we don't vote, America don't change. So this needs to be a movement of Christians, a movement of working class, middle class, lower class, to change it. So pull out your phone, text all your friends, text your wife, text your girlfriends, text your husbands, text your boyfriends, and tell them we need a movement to change America. And vote for Reverend Raphael Warnock, and vote for John Ossoff, because I want affordable health care, because I want a livable wage. I want affordable housing. I want a better education for my children. So if we don't do it, then who? If it doesn't happen now, then we. So Reverend Brother Martin, thank you for being here today. Keith, thank you for putting this together. And Reverend Alan Maynard, thank you for bringing this event. And the pastor, Reverend Roland, thank you for using this church as a platform to spread this movement.
And I know that Bishop Reginald Jackson is out there, who's the Bishop of AME Church. This is a movement to change America. But for America to change, Georgia must step up. And for Georgia to step up, Savannah, Chatham County, and the Low Country, Hinesville, Liberty County must step up and vote. So tell your friends that we did not attend an event this afternoon. This is a movement for a better America. This is a movement for better health care. This is a movement for our children. This is a movement for a livable wage. This is a movement to change America. And the change of America starts right here in Savannah. So tell your friends, we're moving. Thank you very much.
GOODJOB. I said GOODJOB. Let's give Senator Lester Jackson a hand. Let's give him a hand. Come on. Show your love for our technical directors today. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Edward, I love you. Give it up. Keon, I love you. Let's give him a hand. Give it up. Ricardo, Centel Brown, all of our tech directors. Everybody show some love to each other. Socially distanced, but close at heart. Social distancing, but close at heart. Once again, for our advocate, let's give it up for respected Roland Martin, our advocate. Come on, baby. Show your love. Give it up. DJ Hot Rod. Give it up for DJ Hot Rod.
Hey, man. I'm sorry.
And as you're leaving, I want y'all, like I said, text all your friends, everybody, tell them to vote. Oh, yes, and before we leave, come on, Rick, we got to get our benediction. Oh, that's your frat brother, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I already know. Come on, we can't go anywhere without the benediction.
All right, let's give God some praise for the night. What a wonderful